Hey guys, we're back again. I had really hoped that this was going to be the last episode of the water pump, but it didn't work out that way. You can tell by my tone I'm a little sad. So keep on watching. You'll see what I mean. All right, fellas, we're back at the lathe. This is kind of where we left off in the last video. Let's see if we can finish this bushing out. Alrighty, guys, we're getting really close on this diameter. We're at about 1.473. So I want to check a couple things and then I'll bring it back. So somehow this thing has moved. Probably because it's not holding on to very much over here. And I couldn't chuck on it very tight or else it'd distort. You see we're on 0. We got about 4 thousandths run out. So I need to see if I can adjust that a little bit before we make the final passes. I'm afraid that leaving that much run out is going to cause a bind when we go to put it back together. So I'm going to see if I can adjust this without damaging this thing. All right, fellas. I got this dead blow hammer here. See if I can gently tap it into place. See if I can bring you in. All right, can you see that? I think we got it within 1. Get you lined back up on here so you can see. There we go. Pull this indicator out of the way. It's all part of it, guys. We wouldn't want that thing to bind up now, would we? I'm thinking that 1,000 probably has to do with the way that these jaws are pressing and making this do funny things all the way out here. That happens when you work on tubes. I know we're getting close, so we got to check it a lot now. About 1.483. I think what we better do is check this one more time, make sure it didn't move again. If you listen real close, you can actually hear the thin and the thick parts in that, so we know we moved it. You know, as I do this work, I do a lot of stuff just by listening to it, and sometimes just by touch, I can feel if something's not right. But even so, you're never going to be more accurate than what you can measure. Now we're getting really close. I want to do a lot of double checking. Looks like we have 6 to go. See how we did? Shows we took off 2. I think we're going to check it again, make sure it didn't move, because it could have. Let's take another pass. We're just going to move this ever so slightly. We went 2. It's right where I thought it was going to happen. Probably way too much glare. 1.500 and a half or 5. I think that's right where we want to be. Alrighty. Before I cut it off, you see we got an oil groove in here in the old one, so we got to figure out how we're going to put that in. So I'm going to stop you while I look for a tool to do that with. Back in handheld for a second. You can see that's a pretty steep groove in there. I know that there's no way I can replicate that, but I think we can come close. So I come over here and I set the lathe on 3 threads per inch. And here's the little tool I came up with. Just the high-speed steel that I ground down to that little shape there. I think that's going to give us plenty of room for oil to flow around. What do you say we give this a shot and see what happens? Get you back in the tripod. All right, we're going to start it up. We're going to wait till the one comes around again. We'll engage and see if we can make that groove a little bit deeper. Yeah, we're starting to get a groove in there. I think we'll make this our last pass. Doesn't have to be all that deep. Get you in handheld for a second. Y'all see that? I think that's going to be plenty deep enough for oil to flow around. Alrighty, next step. Alrighty, let's see here. We got a nice chamfering tool in here. See if we can get some chamfers on the edge of this. Help it press in a little easier. I did it. All right, time to cut it off. So I got the parting tool in here. You may see this wobbling a little bit. I had to move it out a little so that there was clearance for the parting tool. You stop for a second, take a file, go in there and break that edge. There we have it. We just got to take some pliers and snap that little burr off of there. Alright, I got our piece in here. I put some aluminum from a can underneath the jaws and to the part to try to protect it a little bit from getting scratched up. Then I'm going to take this other side and go ahead and hit it with that chamfering tool. Alright, the last thing we're going to attempt is I got a piece of sandpaper wrapped around this piece of aluminum. I want to go in here and see if I can clean up some of the edges of this burr. See how it works. I think I did it, Phyllis. Alright, here we go. Well, she went on there. We may have to do just a little bit more sanding in that bushing because it does feel a bit tight. We're going to have to just see once it's pressed in how it works. On to the next part. I guess we can try putting some stuff together for once. How does that happen? Anyway, I got a key cut to length here and kind of shaped to fit our opening. We got it set up in the world's jankiest press. Let's see if it'll go together. I guess this is the true test to see if all of the work came together correctly. It's moving. Looks to me like it's bottomed out. Success. We need to make some stepped keys because I figured out that gear is hard, that smaller gear, and I'm not going to be able to broach it and widen it out. So we're set up in the mill. We're going to see if we can make a step key out of this piece of 3/16 key stock. What we need to do is come in here and touch off the edge and then move over 47 thousandths. Then come to the other side and do the same. So let's give it a try and see if it works. Right there, we got it. You can hear it touch. Let's move out of the way. Now I need to move 48 thousandths. Same thing on the other side. All right, I think I need to check the overall height of this and make sure it's not too tall. Give me just a minute. So I went and checked that out. It looks like we need to take 20 thousandths off the top. So what I'm going to do is come in here and touch the top of the part off with the tool, and then move the table up 20 thousandths from that point. Let's give her a go. That's all it needed. Now to deburr it and put it in. Set back up in the janky press. Got the key in. Got her lined up with the keyway and the gear. See if we can drive it home. Looks like we're going to have to stop and see what happened. If I can get this lined up. Here's what happened. The little corner of that gear chipped off. So what I did is I put me a hole through here on this piece of aluminum. See if that gives it better support. That gear doesn't even get used. It's for an application we're not using, so it doesn't even matter. I don't really even have to put it back on, but we're going to just for the sake of doing it and having it complete. I guess that'll do it. I'm at it now. Look at that, the gear split. Like I said before, it doesn't matter. It doesn't get used. Last thing for this gear is put this retainer on. See if I can do this one-handed. There it is. All right. Probably the next part will be fitting up that key. All right, so I got to move on to something else for a while. So I decided we can go ahead and punch the hole through this impeller. So I'm just going to hit it real quick with the center drill. You're in handheld, so I can try to get a little closer. See how this goes. Alright, that got us a start. Now go find us a 3/16 drill and punch it through. I found us a number 12, and that's 1.5 thousandths over, so maybe that'll give us a little bit of extra clearance. Let's poke this hole in there. Aluminum sure is soft. Bob's your uncle. Here's a couple of trim pieces for the water pump. Gonna hit them with some black paint, make them stand out against the gray a little bit. Get the back side. Come back after a while. Just give it another little shot. Make it look a little bit better. Thicken it up a little bit. Alrighty. Well, guys, I had thought we had the last piece and we could put this thing back together. But I just couldn't do it. I can't put it together with this bad gear. There's several options here. We could braze this back together and clean it up. We could weld it back together and clean it up. We could try to source another one. But I think what we're going to do is make another one. After I thought about this for a while, I thought this would be a pretty educational part to make. If I'm counting right, there's 7 starts to this thread. I don't know about y'all, but I've never cut threads with 7 starts. So I think this is going to be a pretty good educational video for us. I'm not sure when I'll have the time to do it, but we'll get there with it. Well, guys, keep on watching.